I guess doll lines come and doll lines go, a bit like moustaches. Hello again and welcome back to March Payne's Midlife Dolly Crisis, and before we start off I do want to just take a moment to thank everyone who subscribed, because I recently reached my 1,000 subscribers, which is quite an achievement I think. So thank you to everyone who subscribed and who watches and who interacts. Yeah, it's quite a weird feeling amongst others at the moment, I have to be honest. But anyway, today we're going to be unboxing an ily4EVER doll. We're actually going to be unboxing two. So I have this one, which I featured in the video that I did about the dolls that I bought this year. So she is from the second wave of the ily4EVER dolls. And I also have got this one. And this one is from the first wave of the ily4EVER dolls. So the theme of both of these dolls is Snow White, but obviously they've gone quite different routes, so it'd be interesting to unbox them together and kind of see the two different routes that they've actually gone, because they are quite different in how they're presented. So before we get into opening the two dolls, I just wanted to have a quick sort of catch up on the history of the ily dolls. So essentially there are two different kinds. The first kind, these you can essentially only get through the Disney website or from Disney stores, of which unfortunately, over here in Europe, there are very few and far between. However, they've recently been very heavily reduced, both in the store and on the website, and they've now since vanished. Now, I don't know what it's like in the store, because although we do have a Disney store here in Dublin, it's not a place I would visit that regularly. So, you know, I haven't been, I don't know if they're still there, but certainly on the Disney store website, both the EU one and also the UK one, they have gone. They have literally vanished, as if they were never there. I worry a little bit that that means that possibly the doll line is going, is that we're not going to get any more of these ones. Now, obviously, there are another set of ily dolls which are produced by Jakks Pacific, which came out a little bit later. I think between the first wave and the second wave, we got a few of these other dolls. So they're quite different, but also very similar. The main difference is they don't have the inset eyes that the Disney ones do, and their articulation is different. Their bodies are a bit different, but they are the same size and I'm presuming can fit the same clothes. They seem to be more available not through the Disney store, but through kind of other outlets, whereas the other ones were only available through Disney. So I don't know if maybe that line will continue and they've decided they're not going to bother producing any themselves anymore. From what I've been able to see from the American Disney website, at least the second wave of the dolls, which would include this one, are still available. Whether or not that's going to continue, I don't know. Maybe they're just deciding not to sort of sell them over in Europe. I don't know. But it's just something to look out for. I'm kind of hoping that they aren't finishing them all together, because they are really great dolls. And obviously they produce really nice fashion packs, which I think have been the main draw for a lot of adult collectors. I suppose one of the things we have to remember is, as adult collectors and, you know, YouTube watchers, we will watch other people unboxing dolls and buying dolls. It kind of gives us a false sense of how well things are probably selling, because although, you know, we are seeing lots of people unboxing them, it doesn't mean that the wider audience or, you know, children, which obviously dolls are mainly kind of marketed to, are buying them. So look, let's try and celebrate the dolls as they are now, and let's get these open and see what we think. Okay, so here we go. Here are our two Snow White inspired dolls. Just as another little reminder, these are based on the idea of Disney bounding, which essentially is when people visit the parks, they can't go dressed in the full outfit for Snow White or the full outfit for Belle or the full outfit for any of the characters from Disney. Only because obviously, you know, in the parks they do have cast members walking around who are playing those roles. And obviously it would be, you know, very confusing for people. So instead of that, they've kind of taken to the idea of really dressing in something similar or, you know, in kind of homage to the character. So they aren't dressed as a carbon copy. They are literally sort of taking aspects of the style of the character and trying to express the character in other clothes, which are not sort of like, here's me in a big yellow frock, I'm Belle kind of thing. So that is why, although they do have sort of Snow White written on them, it does say inspired by rather than here's a Snow White doll. So that all said, as I mentioned before, this one is this year's. So this is from 2024. This one was the first wave, which was 2023. So the packaging hasn't really changed, at least on the front there. On the side, actually let me put to this side. Here we go, this is better. So on this side we have got an image of the doll that you're going to get in the box. This is them dressed in basically all the bits that you'll get inside. And then on the back you've got an image of both waves. So that is the back of the box there. And then on the other side of the box you've basically got the same image of Snow White there. So look, I am going to get these dolls out and we'll have a look at them side by side. Okay, so here we go. So they are both out of their boxes. Opening dolls is never that easy, to be honest. There's lots of tags. With these ones particularly, in the clothes that were sort of in the boxes separate, there were a lot of those very small Kimball tags, which are just horrible to take out. And they do tend to leave, especially because of some of the fabric that they've used, they do tend to leave little holes. So that is quite annoying. The same can also be said for the fashion packs, which I've also unboxed. And again, they do use those sort of tiny little Kimball tags in everything. And it is very annoying. To get the actual dolls out, it wasn't so bad. There were lots of kind of like elastic things to cut, and a few elastic bands you could sort of unwind. With this girl, because she's got the longer hair, her hair was kind of sewn into the box, but that was easier. It literally just kind of came out. It wasn't an issue. And they both had sort of the tags in the back of their heads as well. Again, that's kind of annoying, especially when you can't really get the tags out in one go, even with pliers. That all aside, let's have a look at the accessories that they come with. They both come with these balloons. So these hold a surprise inside them, which are, well, actually I don't know. I'm presuming they're both food items, but I know, so this is the one from the first wave. The first wave had sort of like food that you would eat as you're walking around one of the Disney parks. I'm presuming the second one is the same but different food, but I guess we'll find out. They obviously also both came with bags. So let's have a look at those first, shall we? The one on this side is from the first wave and this one is from the second wave. So the first wave, a lot of the bags had sort of fabric handles. I've got another one that had a backpack, and again that one had sort of like a fabric handle. It's almost like a sort of a faux suede, I suppose. Obviously it isn't actual suede, it is a fabric. It's kind of interesting that they've sort of put that and not just used just plastic, like, you know, like they would do with sort of Barbie or, you know, Monster High. And the bags do normally open, like this one does. So this one you can actually put stuff in there. It just kind of like clips shut. It's quite nicely done. Obviously, you know, the main colour is blue. There is moulded detail on there, but there is also quite a lot of painted detail on there as well. We've got the stripe down the front, we've got a buckle there, we've got an apple hanging from the sort of like a charm there. We've got sort of yellow bits painted on there. We've also got another little handle at the top which is painted red. So that's pretty nice. It's a pretty nice bag. Again, we've also got details on the back where you wouldn't normally see. If you can see there, you can actually see one of those annoying holes from the Kimble tag. There you go. So yeah, so that is that bag. So that was wave 1. And then this is the bag that we got for the wave 2 Snow White. So this is all plastic. Now I quite like this whole see-through thing, but the handles are actually pretty good. Again, they are plastic. They're not a separate piece. They're all kind of moulded in. But the kind of plastic that it is, they are kind of malleable. So they do move. Also, and I don't know if, no, maybe this one doesn't. With some of the other bags, when they had ones like this, they literally had a slit in the top that you could sort of put stuff in. I don't know if this one, oh, I think it might have. It's actually, it feels quite hard further down, obviously because this is thicker. So I don't really know if you're able to get anything into that. And you probably wouldn't want to because you might not be able to get it back out again. But anyway, that's the bag. We've got a painted apple on the front there, so that's got a bit of red on there. There is other sort of moulded detail on it. The buckles of the handle are also painted, so that's quite nice. But it seems a bit more basic, I suppose, than the other one. But then I don't know what the bags from the second wave were like. This might just be, with this one, it's a bit more basic. The other ones might not be. We've then got, not necessarily sort of jackets, because this one is more of a sort of a cardigan than this one. This is very light for a jacket, I would say. So this pink one is from the first wave. I'm going to show you this one first. So this is kind of like a woolen material, and there are images of the apples all over it. It's actually a very cute piece. Obviously it's a nice sort of pink colour, and the apples are red. That is kind of like a painted on detail or a printed on detail. There's no fastenings on it, but everything is very nicely sort of hemmed. But yeah, so there's no raw edges. Everything inside, obviously, you know, that is raw, but that is stitched, so that's not going to come undone or anything like that. And that's just kind of where the construction of the cardigan is, really. But yeah, there's no sort of raw edges. Everything is nicely hemmed. We've got some sort of ribbing here at the cuff. We've also got ribbing all the way around the base of it. It feels nice. It feels like nice quality. It would also be nice with other items. Now, the second wave one has this, which is kind of like, it's a jacket. It's a sort of a moss green, but the fabric is sort of shiny. I kind of like it. It feels a bit less nicely put together in a way, only because there's kind of weight to the cardigan in that you don't have that with this. It feels very light, but then it's meant to. So, you know, take of that what you will. The collar here is not hemmed, so that is a raw edge, but it's probably the kind of fabric that isn't really going to sort of fray. There is nice detail on here. We've got an image of Snow White there holding an apple, so that's on one side. We've also got these little studs down the front, which obviously are meant to be buttons. I don't know if it's meant to be, I was going to say it's meant to be a shirt, but it isn't, because it's got these bits at the bottom, which are obviously like a drawstring, which are for decoration only, I have to say. So it's just kind of like a light jacket. We've got cuffs here. There is sort of stitching detail on there. We've got a kind of a ribbony bit here, which obviously is meant to be what the band of cuff is through. That is the same on both sides. We do have sort of stitched on detail here, which is nice. So obviously we've got this bit down the front. It's the same on that side as well. We've got the bottom bit, which is all sort of hemmed around, and obviously that's meant to look like it's got a drawstring in, but it doesn't. The back is very plain, and we have a pocket here, but that is actually not a real pocket. It's just got the flap of a pocket on there. The pocket is just kind of stitched like it's there, but it's not really there, if you understand what I mean. Hopefully you do. So that is the jacket. They also both come with glasses. Now, I have to be honest, I love the idea of dolls with glasses. Obviously my camera doesn't, because it doesn't want to focus on them. Oh, there we go. We're focused in now. So yeah, I do love a doll wearing glasses. But as excited as I am about these glasses, the other pairs that I've had for the ily dolls from, I think, the fashion packs, they seem to magnify the eyes. So they just look odd to me. They are very big when you put them on. The eyes look giant. I wish they just put like a normal sort of plastic in there rather than trying to make the eyes bigger. I don't know if it's because they've got inset eyes as well that probably makes it even more sort of odd looking. But yeah, so we've got a red pair here. So this is from the first wave girl. So this is a red pair of glasses, and we've got a little sort of a ribbon detail on the top there. They're very simple. They're just a round pair. They're not that big. Presumably they'll cover her eyes, but whether or not they'll have that magnifying detail or not, I don't know. I think they probably will, judging by what I can see at the angle I'm looking at them. And then we've got these. Now, this pair did excite me a lot. This is one of the reasons I bought this doll. But I'm pretty sure once I put these on her, I'll kind of wish that they weren't on her at all, because they will make her eyes look very intense. But I really like this because they look similar to a pair that I would probably wear. They're just a simple black pair of glasses. Obviously, there's no kind of detail on them because you don't really need it that much. But yeah, they're just a simple black pair of glasses, a kind of a shiny look to them, and they've got the lenses in there. So that is the specs. So I've then got this. So this is from the Wave 2 doll. There isn't really an equivalent in the Wave 1 doll, although she does have a necklace on, which is a little bit of an extra, I suppose. But we'll see that when we look at the dolls, because it's actually attached to her. I don't really know what this is. I'm presuming it's meant to be maybe like a bag of like freeze-dried apple, but I'm not really sure. This may or may not fit into the handbag, but I guess we'll see. It's very thin. It's a very thin piece of plastic. It looks like it's meant to look like it's got like a Ziploc on it, so I'm presuming it's meant to look like, as I said, you know, like freeze-dried apple or some sort of apple snack. But yeah, so that is that. Shall we have a look and see what's in these balloons? Because obviously, you know, they are meant to be like the surprise element, so we should check that out. Let's have a look now. Okay, so this is the one from the first wave. So this is a lighter colour, and obviously we've got the sort of the Mickey Mouse silhouette with the Mickey Mouse face on there. This should just lift off. So there we go. So that is the surprise there. The dolls are actually meant to be able to hold this and pretend it is a balloon, but I've never really got it done very successfully. I have had pictures where it looks more successful than it is, but I'm probably like literally holding the camera with one hand and sort of holding this up with the other. I don't know if it just doesn't work, basically. I'm trying to be nice, but it doesn't really work. It's a nice idea, but sadly, yeah, it doesn't work. I think it's too heavy because this is actually a plastic. So let's open this. So this is from the first wave. I've got a few of these, so I don't know if it'll be the same sort of one that I've already got. They come with a leaflet, which will show you what you could get in them. So there's a few there. There's a few there. They're meant to be quite random, but we'll see. So let's open this and see what we've got. Oh, okay, this is cute. I don't think I've got this one. So this is kind of like a cupcake on a sort of cake stand, which is quite nice. These things are very nice for sort of in the background of pictures and, you know, dioramas and stuff like that. So that is that one. Okay, and then this one is the balloon from the second wave doll. So this one is a lot darker. They're more sort of primary colours, I suppose, the way the other one was a bit more sort of a lighter shades and sort of pastels. Again, we've got the silhouette of the Mickey Mouse head, and then we've got Mickey in the middle there. So let's open this. Okay, yeah, so again, it's going to be other kind of food stuff. But hopefully it's kind of different because it's from the second wave rather than the first wave, and then, you know, I won't have the kind of the same stuff again. So there's a few different ones you can get there, and a few different ones on that side as well. That's those. So let's see what we've got here. Okay, so this is kind of like a bent lot of lollipops. I can bend it back. It's kind of like a rubbery material, so it will probably stay. So yeah, it's 2 lollipops basically in a sort of a jar. Again, it's kind of a nice thing to have in the background of pictures or dioramas. So, having looked at all of this stuff, let's now have a look at the dolls. Okay, so let's have a look at this girl first. So this is the one from the very first wave of the dolls. So she's got a really nice face, and they've given her such a pretty face up. They've given her little freckles, which is also nice and quite unusual, really. With these dolls, you don't really have to worry about pixelation or anything like that. I don't know what kind of screening they do, but they certainly don't have the same issues as Barbie tends to have, or, you know, Mattel seem to have with their Barbie dolls. I suppose it also helps that the eyes are inset. So any kind of screening for the eyes you don't have to worry about, because there isn't any, because basically they've got these kind of glass eyes in. So she has got a pair of brown eyes, and makeup wise there's not a huge amount. She's got a bit of blushing on her cheeks there. She's also got sort of pink lipstick on by the looks of it. Eye makeup wise, she's got a bit of eyeliner on the top by the looks of it, but I can't really see, there's not a huge amount. The idea of these dolls, as far as I can see, is that they're meant to be going around the Disney park in the height of summer. So they're not going to be sort of overly made up or, you know, dressed to the nines, because they're spending a long day there, so they're going to be wearing sort of more sort of practical or sort of sportswear, just because they know they're going to be sort of in queues or walking around and, you know, on their feet all day, basically. So she's got kind of an updo. Her hair is very curly. We've got a plait over the front of her forehead here. We've also got little hairs as well. The detail is amazing, I have to be honest. Particularly, you know, they've taken real time and effort with this hair. She does have baby hairs drawn on as well, but obviously she's got these little hairs here too. It's a really nice soft look. I don't know what her hair will be like if you kind of released it, because there's a rubber band around it. I'd kind of be interested, but I'd kind of dread to see it as well, because you would never get it to look this nice again, I don't think. Obviously she's got these, which are the Mickey Mouse ears. These ones are themed around Snow White. This sort of image here on both sides, the sort of the pattern, I think is meant to be the kind of puff sleeves of Snow White's sort of outfit that she wears in the film. These tend to be kind of stitched in, so you can actually undo that and remove it without ruining the hair, because I have done it with other dolls that I've had. So yeah, you can remove this without it affecting the style too much, which is good. And some of the other fashion packs would also contain another set of ears, so you can sort of slot another thing in its place, kind of thing. If we go further down, she does have this necklace which does not want to stay. It keeps swinging round. It's a little bit annoying. So this is a gold coloured plastic necklace. The bottom of it, the pendant, is, by the looks of it, a sort of an apple. I think that's been partly eaten, because obviously that is the big theme, I suppose, with Snow White, is that she has the poison apple. She eats the poison apple. She's got on a really cute red blouse with little sort of flowers all over it. We've got puff sleeves. We've got a sort of a peasant neckline. I'm presuming that it's nicely made, because all the stuff seems to be, but we can double check. Yeah, so there's no raw edges. We've even got sort of like you know, like sort of a lace effect. It's so nice. The same at the bottom as well. This, actually I was going to say it's elasticated, but it isn't. It's just very nicely sort of pleated all over. We've got Velcro down the back. But yeah, that's just such a nice kind of piece to have. And obviously you can mix and match it with other stuff as well. She's then wearing these short dungarees, and they do look like denim, but obviously the fabric is not. I guess they use this kind of material all the time for doll clothes to make it look as if they're wearing denim or, you know, jean material or whatever. There's lots of little details on here. So we've got some studs here. We've also got some studs around the waist. We've got a working pocket at the front here. The rest of it, pocket-wise, these are again sort of like fake pockets, which are just kind of been sort of sewn to look like pockets, but they're not. We've got a kind of fly detail thing here. Again, that is just sewn on. There's nothing really on the back there. There's no sort of pockets or anything drawn on there. We've got this kind of distress detail going on around the legs here, which I suppose is fine because it can, you know, that's kind of where they're going to bend when they're sitting down. Although sitting down with these dolls is a bit of an issue, which I will come to. There's kind of like loose threads all around there, as if they've kind of been sort of cut off, I suppose. So that is those. We then go further down and we've got a pair of socks here. So these are white, and obviously they've got like a yellow and blue stripe at the top of them. They're nice cotton, and they are again all sort of finished off very nicely. And we've then got a pair of very cute red sort of trainers, I suppose, or loafers almost. So they're a really nice red colour. They've got white soles, which are sort of painted, and we've got sort of like the toe sort of grip detail bits at the front. There are no painted details on apart from those. So the ribbons are red, but it's moulded on. It's not like a different red to the rest of the shoe. But yeah, they are very cute shoes. And that kind of finishes her look off. So that is her. So here is the second wave Snow White doll. Obviously she is quite different looking. Let's move around that way. There we go. So basically we're going to go top to bottom again. So on the top of the head she has got these Mickey Mouse ears, or Disney ears. I don't really know what you call them. Anyway, the ear thing she's got. This one apparently glows in the dark, so that could be interesting. They are meant to be the kind of the poisoned apples by the looks of it, because they've got that sort of whole skull effect thing going on. It's a nice plastic. It's got, I think, glitter in it as well. We've got kind of a bow detail in the middle. Again, this is kind of sewn in. So you can obviously just snip that and undo that and it should be fine. Hair-wise, her hair is quite different. Obviously it is long and it is blonde, and we also have some red streaks in there as well. All of the dolls from the second wave had streaks in their hair of some kind of fantasy colour, really, which is kind of nice, but I don't know if you need it in all the dolls. Obviously, you know, I'm not one to talk. I've got, you know, different coloured hair, but it might be nice if they hadn't done it with every single doll of the line. If we go further down, so her face, she's got a very nice face up. Her skin obviously is a lot paler than the other girl. She seems to have more makeup on as well. So she's got really nice eyeliner on, which is sort of like a peachy colour. And the sort of gold effect as well. That's kind of around the eyes. Her lipstick is a sort of a deep coral colour. She's also got, on the side of her face, I don't know if you can see it, but it's sort of like an apple motif. Again, this is another thing that they did with the second wave dolls, in that they gave them, I don't even know what you call it, it's like a beauty spot, or just some kind of weird thing on their face. That also might have put people off, possibly. It is quite noticeable, obviously, because it is there. It just seems like an odd thing to sort of include. If we go further down, we've got really cute earrings in here. I think, I was going to say it's a key, but I think it's meant to be a dagger, which is, again, something I wouldn't really associate with Disney, a dagger, but there we go. I think it's meant to be a dagger. It's got like a heart shape sort of top to it, and then we go down into what looks like it's meant to be sort of the handle of the knife, and then the tip of the knife there. These do come out. There we go. They're not kind of like stuck in the ear forever. And some of the fashion packs that you get have extra earrings as well. So that is those. We then come down to this black little number here. It feels a bit gothy, but it also looks a little bit sporty. I think because they're using this kind of mesh material on the sleeves here. It's also got this sort of choker a bit around the neck. I don't know if it works. It looks a bit weird up close. Obviously it should be a bit tighter. It would be better if it were tighter. But I don't really know how you do that and have it sort of built into the outfit as well. If it was a separate piece, it might have been better. But, you know, it's nice that they at least try to do something a bit different, I guess. We've then got this motif here. So it's kind of like a long t-shirt dress, I suppose. And the motif here says, Queen Poisonous. I don't know if it's meant to be like a rock band, maybe, like a sort of a rock band motif. But we've then got another sort of image of an apple here, and we've actually got a silhouette of Snow White about to eat the apple, and then we've got another kind of round bit here, which is obviously meant to look like another eye, because it does kind of look like the skull image. They've obviously spent time designing this, because it's very effective looking, for sure. If we go further down, we've then got some mesh material here. Now, I noticed with mine, I don't know if it's with all of them, but I don't know how that's actually attached. It's not sewn. It's not sewn onto the front. I think it's literally just attached at the sides and at the back. So there's a whole strip here at the front, which isn't attached to anything. So obviously be careful, because it might get kind of caught with things. But yeah, I don't know how they would have done that otherwise, apart from, you know, if they'd actually had a separate layer underneath the whole thing, which would probably have been a bit too much trouble for that. If we have a look over here on her wrist, she again has got this sort of weird heart dagger motif going on. And this is a bracelet this time. This obviously matches the earrings. It's kind of like a goldy colour. Again, we've got a red heart bit there. It seems like an odd piece. I mean, I'm not complaining, but it's kind of an odd thing, I suppose, for a sort of a child's toy, maybe. But anyway, you know, they went with that. That was, the whole kind of gothy look was really why I wanted the doll, to be honest. And this, as I say, is the only doll from the second wave that I bought. So yeah, so that is the bracelet there. We then go all the way down, and she's got no socks or stockings or anything like that on. She's literally just got a pair of sneakers here. They've got a bit of a heel to them, I think, because yeah, I think the way her foot is in them, they don't go all the way down. So you've got a sort of a heel bit here. The sole of them is gold. We've got an apple image there. I think the rest of it is basically just like a moulded detail. So there is a texture to it. There's also laces, which are kind of across the front bit there. But yeah, they're quite a nice pair. It's weird, these ones don't actually have any sort of slit down the back or anything like that. Whereas I think the other pair that was on the other doll did, but these ones don't. I guess maybe they're easier to come on and off because she doesn't have any socks on. So that is that. So let's talk a little bit about articulation. So the articulation, I'm guessing, is going to be the same in both of the dolls, despite the fact this one is a later version. So their head kind of tilts. I've had issues with the heads, basically. They definitely go back and forth, but I don't know if they're meant to also tilt. Some of them seem to want to do it more than others, and it kind of seems to depend on the position that you're putting them in. So I think that is a bit of a shame for a start, that they don't have sort of the proper tilt thing going on. Shoulder wise, they do come out like that, and you can obviously move them up and around and out. We've then got elbows, which you can bend, which is great. And you've got articulation in the wrist. There's no body articulation at all down here. This is kind of all one solid piece. We've then got articulation at the hips. And it's this articulation which is kind of the main issue, I suppose, with these dolls. Unfortunately, they can't really sit properly. There's something, I don't know what it is. I think it's the moulding kind of around the hip wise. I can actually bring this up because she is wearing pretend pants. I don't know if this has been sort of built up too much, or just the way that it's been sort of designed means it's very difficult for them to keep their legs together. But yeah, if you try and get them to sit down, they have problems, because that's how they do it, which I don't think, it's not the most ladylike way of sitting, I wouldn't have thought. They do have knees which bend, so they've got kind of a double jointed knee, which is fine, but it doesn't really help you that much with this trying to get them to sit down. And I have struggled a bit with some of my other ones, and then their leg can actually just pop off. It does pop back in again, but I would imagine if there was a bit of sort of hard play, that might be an issue with younger children. Younger than me, obviously. They also have articulation at the ankle. Again, I like articulation at the ankle and I don't like it. I feel that it's a bit loose. I would like it if it was a lot more, I'd like it if it was a lot stiffer. Just so it's more kind of secure in a way. Because I feel that it's too loose, and it's only going to loosen with time anyway. So you may as well start off stiff and then loosen up later. I think maybe if they weren't so loose, they would actually stand up. I have actually managed to get some of mine to stand up before, because they don't come with a doll stand or anything. Yeah, there you go. So she does kind of stand. Let's see if the other one can stand as well. You have to kind of get them positioned correctly to do it. They do actually have quite big feet. Oh, this one's fallen down now. That's not good. There we go. Yeah, I think she probably will stand. Obviously, just get a doll stand for them. There we go. She's standing now. So here we go. The two girls are side by side here, so we can look at them together. The glasses did the thing I thought they were going to do and has made their eyes look slightly boggly. I'm not sure what I think about that. I think it's less bad possibly than I think it is. But if I bring her up, you can kind of see, you know, there's obviously some sort of magnifying thing in there that just makes the eyes look big. I don't know if it doesn't look bad on camera, but when you're looking at the doll, it just makes them look slightly demented. It's possibly less noticeable on this one, but also I'm having issues trying to get this one actually over the second ear. It doesn't seem to want to go. I think it's probably been bent a little bit out of shape. I'm sure I can get it to work at some point. So what do you think of them? Let me know down in the comments below. Despite all the kind of the little bits that I don't like about them, I am really pleased I've got them. I think the positives definitely outweigh the negatives. They are really beautiful dolls. Obviously, the articulation, you know, there are issues with them, but they could have ironed them out, I guess. I know the bodies for the Jakks Pacific ones are slightly different, so I'd be interesting to hear how they compare. So if you've got any Jakks Pacific ones, sound off in the comments and let me know what the differences are. And if they are better, maybe, I don't know. Let me know if you know what's going on with the future of the ily4EVER dolls. I would miss the inset eyes, I have to be honest. That's really why I kind of stuck with the Disney ones rather than the Jakks Pacific ones, only because I liked the fact that they all had inset eyes, and it makes them a bit different to other sort of fashion dolls like this. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. Please share the video if you know anyone else that would like this kind of content, and Please subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I will see you in the next video. So until then, take care. Bye.